The movie opens up with a TV advertisement from an AI technology company, Wifelike Enterprises, informing the audience about an AI program companion. The CEO of the enterprise, Marian Venter, mentions that these companions will serve the owners like an obedient wife and even pleasure them accordingly. Shortly after, we are introduced to a top-performing agent named William Bradwell, who protects the welfare of those robots. Since he has been the best-rated agent in the company, Marian rewards him with his very own robot that resembles his late wife, Meredith. In the next scene, William takes Meredith home and instructs her on housewife duties. During their conversation, she recalls him as her husband. This is because the real Meredith's memory has been transferred into her system. Later that night, she asks William if he wants to initiate sexual intimacy, to which he agrees. But before activating the intimacy features, she goes over the terms and conditions for using her and how he will be held liable for any damages happening to her. William reluctantly obeys all of her commands, but he looks nervous to make out with her. Meredith assures him that she will go slow, and the two end up being intimate. Despite this, the setup has a drawback, as the couple cannot sleep together because Meredith needs to recharge for the next day. Before recharging herself, she notices someone hiding behind a tree at the back of her room. The following morning, William and Meredith are watching the news, which is covering the demonstrations organized by the SCARE group, or Sentient Citizens for AI Rights, against the Wifelike Enterprises and their unjust treatment of women. When Meredith inquires about William's job, he explains that he works for the Companion Recovery Unit to protect AIs like her. Not long after, they discover that 2 companions have been stolen, bringing the total to 15 stolen companions in the last year. Meredith inquires why this is happening, and William reveals that the SCARE sells some companions in underground markets, while others are reprogrammed to walk into crowded areas carrying explosives on their bodies. After breakfast, William kisses her goodbye and heads to work. Following this, the AI Meredith tries on the late Meredith's makeup and dress, but she doesn't know how to apply lipstick, prompting her to open the makeover tutorial system. Meanwhile at work, William's boss proceeds to alert the agents about the rampant abduction of the companions. She also acknowledges William's efforts in recovering 10 of them in the previous week. However, she wants to retrieve the remaining companions as well, so she directs the agents to be vigilant and to do their work. Soon enough, the protection agency locates some of the kidnapped companions who are being held in a dark facility. One of them, named Wendy, manages to escape from the facility, but due to a band around her neck, she is electrocuted as she walks further away from the building. Fortunately, William arrives just in time to deactivate the neckband. Wendy then informs him that there are 2 more companions inside. Hearing this, he rushes inside with his partner Jack, only to find a man playing a virtual reality game. William immediately knocks him out with a punch to the face and then heads further inside. There, he finds another companion and deactivates her neckband. At the same time, a man enters the room, holding the final companion as a hostage. Fortunately, William is quick enough to shoot the man before he can do anything. Back at home, Meredith activates her charging mode, and as soon as she closes her eyes, she is whisked away to the dreamscape, where she encounters Ido, her interactive dream operator. He's the one who helps her decide what to dream about, and in this instance, he decides to send Meredith to her own birthday party. There, she meets William, who wishes her a happy birthday. Soon after, a woman interrupts them and invites Meredith to dance. While they're at it, Meredith spots a guy in a mask and approaches him out of curiosity. However, the guy simply walks away after handing her a card, stating that it will help her remember. The next morning, Meredith asks Ido to provide her with information about the masked man, but he tells her that there is no record of such a man. Instead, he begins to list the things the real Meredith enjoyed doing. The AI Meredith selects knitting and effortlessly knits a pillow of the card the man gave her. After a while, she goes for a bike ride, but crashes into the woods after being startled by a lady. The lady claims to be someone she knows and continues to pressure her to recollect her memories. Confused, Meredith informs William, and he tells her that ladies despise companions because they steal their husbands. After this, she decides to take a bath, seducing William along the way, and the two end up making out in the shower. Later that day, William notices Meredith staring at the scenery and informs her that it was the favorite spot of the real Meredith. During their conversation, she refers to herself as I, implying that his real-life's memory is blending with the AI's. She then presents him with the pillow she had previously knitted. Following this, he shares a memory of the first time he saw her. The same night, she reads Meredith's diary and tries to enter self-exploration mode to pleasure herself. However, she is denied access, forcing her to enter her dreamscape. Ida mentions that several of her dreams are still locked, so she chooses the one where Meredith first met William for the first time. Strangely, instead of William, she is approached by the masked man in her dream, perplexing her. The man seems to know a lot about her, which she is unable to recall. He also tries to grab her, but at the same time, William wakes her up from her dream. Meredith anxiously asks William if he knows the masked man, but he brushes it off, saying it's just a bad dream. Later, he throws the knitted pillow into the trash. The next day at work, William is tasked with retrieving a companion, Lisa, so he goes to the apartment where she works. However, Lisa, who has changed her appearance as well as her name, refuses to accompany him. She also clarifies that she fled on her own volition because she doesn't love her owner. When William starts forcing her, Lisa runs away to one of the rooms and jumps through the window, taking her own life. At home, Meredith is visited by the same lady named Louise, who caused her to crash earlier. She reveals that the masked man named Keen is eager to speak with her in person, but Meredith refuses and threatens to report the conversation to her husband. However, Louise appears unfazed by the threat and even leaves a message for William. On the other hand, William takes Lisa's dead body to the wife-like enterprise and learns that Marion intends to create AI children. Unsatisfied with the decision, William demands to speak with Marion in order to warn him of the impending danger. According to him, Lisa chose to die, implying that the other companions can do the same and even kill their owners as well. But Marion claims that nothing is certain, because Lisa must have been reprogrammed. In the next scene, we see Meredith, who continues to read the diary and finds out how deeply the real Meredith was in love with William. Afterwards, she knits another pillow, which only makes him frown. She then tells him about Louise's visit and Keen's wish to see her, which worries him. Following this, William calls Jack and explains his idea. He wants to put Meredith to sleep so that he can track down Keen in her dream. William believes that the mysterious guy is a member of the notorious Scare Group. Jack agrees to assist, and together they hack into Meredith's dream and then note down the address that Keen gives her. For some reason, he wants her to meet him there. Later, Jack and his team barge into the alleged location and only find a gas-emitting case, whereas William arrives at the address Keen mentioned and just sees a mannequin. Realizing they've fallen for Keen's trap, he rushes home to check on his wife, who reports finding a notebook outside the door. She doubts if Keen is a terrorist because he would have taken her if that was the case. Eventually, William explains about AI Meredith's dark past, revealing that she was once involved in a bombing tragedy that resulted in numerous fatalities. The wife-like enterprise wanted to destroy her, but he begged them to let her live. After this, William speaks with Jack via video call and admits that Keen is one step ahead of them. As a result, he devises a plan that involves meeting him in Meredith's dream. When Jack hears this, he warns William about the high risk, but our protagonist is determined to meet Keen. The couple then drives to Jack's place, and the latter informs William that he can only see what Meredith sees. Moreover, anything that happens to him in the dream world will result in permanent brain damage. Before entering the dream, William instructs the AI Meredith to wake up when her battery drops to 10%. On her approval, they initiate the plan, and Meredith meets Ida, who transfers her to the woods. There, William finally comes face to face with Keen. He then orders Meredith to run away and starts beating up the mysterious man. The latter obliges and runs aimlessly into the woods, but she gets lost. As a result, she desperately calls Ida, who transports her to another dream, which happens to be her birthday party. Seconds later, William and Keen are also transported into the same dream. William orders everyone to leave, but Meredith remains and listens in on their argument. Keen claims that Meredith will remember everything in time, but William asserts that he will continue to erase her memory. William is about to kill him, but right then, Meredith's battery reaches 10%, causing her to awaken. Jack then confronts William for fighting, despite warning him against doing so. However, the latter is determined to kill Keen the next time. He says that he won't stop until he completes his mission. That night, Meredith expresses her dissatisfaction with having her memory erased, but William assures her that it is for the best. The next day, she is taken to a wife-like office where she comes across other companions. Meredith has a hazy recollection of being there before. Soon after, a companion named Ollie introduces herself and encourages her to remember her past, as everyone else has. Ollie then reveals a secret about how she can keep her memories by saving them in dream mode, holding them even while she undergoes memory wiping, and retrieving them through a random dream. Meredith appears to realize that this isn't the first time her memories have been erased, so she rushes over to Ido and orders him to show her all the dreams in her random files. Afterwards, she is taken to a room to have her memory erased. Elsewhere, Louise goes to Jack's house and hands his girlfriend a file, asking her to show it to Jack. When the latter goes through the file, he immediately heads towards William's house. Upon arriving, he finds William training Meredith after erasing her memory. As expected, she has retained all her memories and is just pretending to be dumb. After she goes away to carry out some housework, Jack confronts William about his lies and how he murdered Keen, Meredith's true love. He then decides to revoke his companion ownership privileges. Unfortunately, William doesn't take this kindly, and to protect his gruesome secret, he draws his gun and shoots Jack to death. Meredith witnesses this and innocently remarks that this was the same way he killed Keen. Hearing this, William is taken aback, realizing that her memory has not been erased. Meredith recalls everything, including William's growing obsession with her, to the point of abducting and detaining her and Keen in the past. She also recalls her first encounter with him. Meredith first met him when she knocked on his door, requesting a signature in support of their protest against the wife-like enterprises and the creation of wife companions. Ever since, William has been following her around like an obsessed stalker. After abducting them, William instructed Keen to walk ahead, only to blow his head off. Realizing Meredith would never love him, he killed her and then turned her into a companion. At present, an enraged Meredith fuels herself to activate her strength mode and set it to the maximum. She then grabs William's collar and hurls him through a glass table. She mercilessly breaks his bones and finally suffocates him to death. In the final scene, Meredith awakens with full freedom, and it turns out that she is none other than the Scare's ringmaster. She meets with the remaining members and delivers her plan for each wife's companion's liberty. Never again will they be submissive to anyone, and they begin cheering, "Life begins now." Back to the wife-like enterprise, Marion laments Jack's death, which they blame on the Scare group. He promises to bring him justice by locating the ringmaster and announces that he will delegate command of his critical mission to Agent William, who is now a companion. A bigger brawl erupts as Meredith and William vow to hunt each other down.